If you're a grandparent who is feeling the ache of having your grandkids who live far away from you, maybe many, many miles away, well, I want you to know you're not alone. This is what I would call long distance grandparenting. And it's a journey that I've been on and I'm back on again. So if you could use a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of inspiration, maybe some tips, well, then I hope you'll stick around. And I'm really glad that you're here with me in the heart of Nanaland, because sometimes we just need to know that we are not alone in this journey and that we have a little bit of fellowship. Well, my grandparenting story began as a long distance grandparent. My first grandchild was born on one coast while I lived on the other. And it might have seemed like impossibility to have a relationship with a little one like that, being so far apart. But you know what? I was able to have a relationship with her, and it was a good relationship. I was able to go out and visit several times a year, and during the times that I was there, we were inseparable, and we developed a really close relationship. And then my grandson was born, and while it wasn't as close with him because I wasn't able to visit as much during this time in my life, I still felt like we had a good relationship. And then an amazing thing happened. They moved closer to where I lived. In fact, they were a 15-minute drive from where I live. And so I was able to hop in my car and see them. And for 6 years, I had all my grandchildren close. All 5 of them were within a half an hour drive. And it was heaven. Now, I would like to tell you that I didn't take it for granted. And, every moment that I knew they were close by, I counted my blessings and all of that. No, I'm sad to say that I think that in a lot of ways I did take it for granted. Even though I knew in the back of my mind that it was a possibility that my daughter and her husband might not live here forever, because where I live, it's really expensive and it's really hard for young families to just have a life. So I knew in the back of my mind that that was a possibility, but I don't think, and I'm being really honest here and transparent, I don't think I counted my blessings like I should have or could have. And I think there were times when I did take for granted how close they lived. And now they did move. And so I'm back to being a long distance grandparent again for at least part of my grandchildren. So I'm back in that place of long distance grandparenting. And if you're there, I understand. I'm going through it with you. And I feel like this is a little bit different than last time because I had the experience of having everybody close by. And now I'm feeling the pain of that separation and that distance and those miles. So I truly get it. And I just want to share with you that if you're feeling that ache, I understand and you're not alone. Like I said, most of the grandparents I know are experiencing that kind of grandparent life, that long distance grandparent life. And I want to share with you some things that are helping me, and this is still early days for me, but are helping me on this journey. And I hope that they might help you and encourage you, and just knowing that you're not alone and that there's some fellowship in that there's a community of people like you who are going through this grandparenting journey at a distance. Well, first of all, the one thing that I'm learning is that I need to have grace for myself. And I would encourage you to have grace for yourself as you go through it. It's kind of like going through the stages of grief. I mean, I'm having to give up a dream, and you might be too. And the dream was that, that mother hen would have all her chicks right there in her nest, that there would be Sunday dinners gathered at my home, and that the grandkids would be able to play all together, the cousins getting together. And I'm having to redefine that dream, reimagine it, because it's not going to look the same anymore. And that brings a certain sadness with it. And honestly, I just find myself getting sad for no apparent reason. It'll wash over me. And that's when I just have to say, look, Lynn, give yourself some grace. Sit with the emotion. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel frustration or anger or disappointment that things aren't the way that you had imagined they would be. Now, yeah, the flip side of that, and I try to go there quickly, is to have gratitude, right? To know that my grandkids are in a good place. They moved to a place where I believe truly that their family will thrive. And to know that they're okay. They're not close, but they're okay. And to have hope that we'll be able to stay connected and have that kind of a grandparent relationship that I've always imagined, even when we're miles apart. So my advice to you, my encouragement to you, would be to acknowledge your feelings, sit with them if you need to. Try and flip it to hopeful, positive thoughts and feelings, but it's okay to experience it. Have grace. Give yourself grace while you go through this period of long distance grandparenting. And a verse that I have been clinging to lately that has really helped me is the one that says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted." It's Psalm 34:18, and it says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." So if that's how you are feeling, dealing with maybe a newly long distance grandparenting journey, or maybe it's a journey you've been on for your whole grandparenting experience, on those days when you feel down about it, I would encourage you to think about that. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He's close, He's near, and He understands what you are going through. The other thing that I did that really helped, because this is a very recent, a very new, very fresh experience. They only moved a few weeks ago. But what I did when I knew that they were moving is right away I started looking at flights. I was able to find a great sale, like a half price fare sale, and I right away booked a trip to go visit. In fact, I booked 2 of them. And honestly, that really has helped to know that yes, it's going to be weeks before I get to see them, but I can count down. I can do like one of those paper chains that the grandkids always do when they're counting down to a trip to Disneyland or Christmas. I feel like I need to make one of those for myself and count down the days till I can go visit. Now I know that's not possible for all of you. That may be unaffordable, and my heart breaks and for that. It really does. And so there'll be some other things that maybe I can encourage you with. But if you can afford it, if you can shop for those deals like I did and get a trip on the books, well, sometimes that helps, knowing that you will be able to be face to face with your grandkids again really soon. And then, of course, there's technology. So if we can't be in the same room with our grandkids, well, at least we can use technology like this to be face to face with them by way of FaceTime or a Zoom meeting or something like that. Now, it's a little bit challenging because some of our adult children limit screen time with our grandkids. I know that mine do. And so I am semi-hopeful that we'll be able to have those opportunities to see each other face to face over the internet. I'm hopeful on that. And if that's something that you can do with your grandkids, then by all means, overcome any technology hurdles that you feel you have, or any ignorance you have about technology. You got to overcome that as a senior, embrace it, because it is a wonderful way to be able to stay connected with your grandkids. And for me, that's still something that's to be determined in terms of frequency. I have had the chance to have a Zoom meeting with the whole family since they moved, and I'm so grateful for that, and to be able to talk to the grandkids about their excitement with their new school and all of those kinds of things. So if that's something that your adult children are open to, well then calendar it. Let that be your paper chain that you look forward to, where you can connect with them via FaceTime or on a Zoom meeting, whatever that looks like. That's another way to help ease that distance and that ache that we feel, the longing that we feel for connection with our grandkids. The other thing that I did was I sent a card to each one of my grandkids and letting them know that I was thinking about them, that I missed them, but that they were on my mind and in my thoughts and in my prayers. And I popped that in the mail. And that is something that I hope to do on a regular basis, to stay connected, kind of like old-fashioned pen pals, right? And I talked to a grandparent friend of mine who also had to do long-distance grandparenting, and she was encouraging me as I was sharing, that my grandkids were moving far away. And she said, and this for her, this was years ago, but I think it's relevant today still. She said, I would sit down and write out postcards and get cute little notes, and I would send them to my granddaughter all the time while we were apart. And she said now that her granddaughter is an adult, she showed her that she had saved all those cards that she had sent over those years. So think about that. Think about what you are building with your grandchildren and the things that they might treasure if you were to send these notes and cards on a regular basis. So that's something that I intend to incorporate as part of my long distance grandparenting. And the other piece of advice that I have for you is find a friend, another grandparent who may be on this journey with you, may have been on this journey for longer than you in terms of being a long distance grandparent, and reach out to them as someone that you might be able to connect with when you're feeling low, who can understand and have empathy for where you are and show you some compassion, maybe pray with you, maybe just sit with you like this and have that fellowship and say, look, I understand. Now for me, that is the other grandparent in this grandparenting relationship. You see, when my daughter and her husband moved the grandkids, and they moved with them, of course, closer to me, it moved them further away from the other grandparents. Now they've moved close to that other set of grandparents. So it's like we've done a Freaky Friday thing. We have swapped places. And now my grandchildren are close to their other grandparents, and I'm the long distance grandparent. And you know that I am so grateful for the friendship that I have, the relationship that I have with my grandmother counterpart, because if anyone knows how I'm feeling, it's her, right? She's been there. And I know that when she was the one feeling the ache of that distance, I always said to her that I understood how she felt and I was there for her. And now we've flipped, and I know that she is there for me. And there are times when all I have to say is, I know you know, because I know that she does. I know that she understands. I know that she understands my heart. And I also know that all I have to do is pick up the phone and call her if I'm feeling particularly bad, or send her a text, and she will be there as a comforting ear just to listen, not even necessarily to give me advice, but just to know that she shares the same emotions that I'm feeling. So friends, if you are a long distance grandparent, if you are just feeling down because your grandkids are not close by and you just miss them, I just want you to know you're not alone. I would love to respond to any comments that you have, offer you some encouragement and pray for you. So let me know in the comments if you are on this journey like I am. Once again, in the heart of Nanoland, let's be there for each other. This is a community to lift each other up, to offer encouragement and inspiration to one another. And if you've been on this journey for a while and you have some tips or encouragement or inspiration, or maybe a Bible verse that has gotten you through some of the hard times, please be sure and share it. For the rest of us, let's encourage and build each other up. I appreciate that you are here with me on this journey. I do, because even though right now I'm talking to a camera, I feel like I'm talking to some friends, and that brings me encouragement. So thank you for taking the time today to spend with me here in the heart of Nanoland. When our hearts are whole, and sometimes when our hearts feel broken, it means a lot. And I look forward to seeing you again here soon, very soon, in the heart of Nanoland.